Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I was just talking to the sponsor here and seeing if she had anything that she wanted me to follow up on.
You'll be a good surrogate, I'm sure.
She's very. First of all, Doctor, I've been very much concerned about this, and I think in every part of the country that we're concerned. West Virginia's been hit very hard by opioids, as you know.
Yes, sir.
Number one killer in my state, prescription drugs. And I started getting very interested in finding out why we had such a high unemployment rate with our veterans. Once I started looking into it further, they couldn't pass drug tests. That was the biggest problem that we had. It was just, and then, so where are they getting it? Why were they getting it? And how come so much has been prescribed? Why wasn't alternatives being used? All of this stuff and I talked to Secretary McDonald, and I believe that if the VA, Medicaid, and Medicare, the three providers that we have some input as Congress, and we pay for as taxpayers, basically did not go to opiates first. It was the last resort we would go to versus prescribing opiates on the front end. It would make such a difference. And Bob has told me that he's committed to trying basically the alternatives. Have you all started? In my state, I don't have alternatives. They don't even offer an alternative than the opiates. Are you trying it where you've said absolutely, or could you, or do you need us to have legislation to direct you in that direction? So I'm understanding, could be anything from acupuncture to equine to all these different things. And he seemed to be very receptive, but no one's practicing them. They're still going to the easiest frontline defense, which is prescribing opiates.
Thank you, Senator, for that question. So let me try to respond to that. I think your point is very well taken. There are some alternatives to opiates in management of chronic pain, and you mentioned some of them: acupuncture, chiropractors. You have massage therapy. You have other types of relaxation therapies. I think part of the challenge as a large system that we're trying to balance is that you have to balance the regulatory, meaning licensing and other types of authorities to hire the chiropractors. Chiropractors are not an issue. You can hire them now. The issue with acupuncturists, for example, we just recently passed some regulation to be able to look at the qualification standards, so we will be very soon able to hire acupuncturists. So I think we're going one step at a time to offer these options.
I'm not saying that the VA has to. If the
Right.
person basically is prescribed this type of service,
Right.
which is what the VA is going to pay for, you're paying for the pills. Why not pay for the service that would be needed that wouldn't get them addicted?
I think as a general rule, Senator, I mean, that's a good question. I can ask our legal folks to comment on that. You have to look at the standard of care. And if there is the evidence for it and it is in the standard of care, then the VA, as a general rule, can pay for it. But you want to comment on that,
No,
Jennifer?
I think the
Let
doctor.
me ask you from a legal standpoint, do you all have guidelines for alternative services right now? Is there anything that you have developed within the VA?
I think we have do we have that work, the new committee that's working on?
But you have I don't think there's any,
I don't think there's anything specific.
you don't have an
Senator.
alternative guideline
No.
treatments?
No,
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 not
sir.
specific.
Not at the present time.
Are you developing them?
Yes, sir, we
Or
are.
you're looking at different options?
We are looking at the evidence maps for these alternate services. I think, as you indicated, the Secretary is very concerned about this issue. I know that a lot of the leadership is very concerned about this issue. So I think we're now in the process of developing the evidence maps. That's the first step, and then once the evidence map is
Let me
together.
ask one follow-up question if I may, because my time is so sorry. Time is precious here. If this was 1960 or 1970, what would you have, the opioids weren't there. What was you doing then?
I think you had, I don't know, I wasn't practicing back then.
I know, but I'm
Senator,
just saying, we didn't have all this concoction.
Right,
So I'm saying, all of a sudden now, because the pharmaceuticals are making
yeah.
so many products on the market, and FDA seems to be approving everything they bring to the market, we've got to look at how do we become the most addicted nation?
I couldn't
on
agree
Earth.
with you more, Senator. It is a very important issue to us, and we're
But
with
from
you
what we're
on
saying
it.
as senators here, elected
Yeah.
officials, we have the ability through the VA, Medicaid, and Medicare to do something. And if we can set the culture going in a different direction,
Yes, sir.
maybe we can set the country going in a different direction.
Yes, sir.
But if you're not pushing back on that, if we continue to push you on alternative and do different things that allow you to do this alternative? And help us develop some plans and regulations?
Yes, sir. I think we can work together on that. We can also work with DOD on it, and we do. We already have a lot of joint work with them.
Okay, I'm so sorry my time is up, but thank you.